13 years. I started there season 1 and moved up the ranks and finished there on season 13 in order to come over here and create a spinoff about firefighters, which is kind of amazing. And it seemed like a really natural sort of extension of the Grey's universe because it still involved medicine, and in the background of all the Grey's episodes, you see all of the first responders scooching into the breezeway and dropping off patients, and then, really quickly we'd dispense with them and get them out of the scene so we could focus on the surgeons. But I was like, but what about if we got back in that ambulance and drove away with them and then started to see what their life was like? What if there was a fire station 3 blocks down from this hospital that we've been seeing for 13 years, and they have a whole life that's been going on this whole time too? What if we just shine a light over there? So that was really sort of the beginning gestation of the idea. And there was also just something really appealing to me. I'm sure you guys, you know Grey's, you know what it's like. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you feel things. And it was really appealing to me to show those same types of emotions and the same type of humor, but to do it in a world of first responders. Especially right now, this day and age, I feel like the world can be tough. There's a lot of difficulty when you wake up every morning, you open up your news, there's stuff that's hard. And to focus on a group of people whose only job is to help other people. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what color you are, what your religion is, it doesn't matter what your politics are, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that if you're a person who needs help, these characters will help you. And to me, that was just remarkable. I wanted to put that little piece of joy out into the world. It's so unifying and universal, and it seemed like this was the right moment to tell stories like these.
All right, good night.
So I don't know.
Well, thanks for kicking off Grey's, because I started with you at undergrad stuff, and I'm obsessed with you.
That's so good. I love that. Well, I mean, I literally grew up on the show because I started there, as a wee baby. Look at me, I'm so young and fresh. But yeah, it's been, such a huge part of my life too. I'm a fan first. I'm always a fan first. You guys know this. I kind of geek out over every episode. We screen them sometimes and I get up and I just gush because, I'm basically you guys. I write things I want to watch. And then we brought these amazing people on. Jaina was the first person cast on the show. And at the time, there wasn't even really a show. It was the kernel of an idea. I was in my office frantically trying to just, finish an outline or something. And I got this call from Shonda saying, "We've met our Andy." And I was like, what? What do you mean we've met our Andy? And so that was, how that kicked off, and that was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then Boris came on just this season.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the subtext under that. Yeah, no, we're really excited to be a part of Stacy's vision and creation, and to see it. I mean, I've before the show even started, just talking to her, I signed on to the show. The second I heard Shonda Rhimes was doing a spinoff, I said, yes, I don't care what it is, just put me in. The second I found out it was about firefighters, I went and met 2 female captains, and I was like, oh my gosh, these ladies are badass, and they could do everything. They could be moms and work and still have a life and balance. And so this it's been a dream. It's
Well, you dove in too, because you went and took the firefighter test all on your own. Talk about badass, this one. I can't even.
I know. I told my mom, I actually came home and I said, Mom, how much do you weigh? And she was like, I forgot what the weight was. And I was like, I told her, you need to be at least 165 pounds so that I know I can drag you out of a building, because that was the part of the test, dragging a dummy that weighed 165, and it's hard. It's really hard. But being on the show has forced me to kind of stay in shape, and just in case she throws a sexy nude scene at us.
Well,
she's like, next episode you're topless. So you gotta be ready. But no, it just
yeah.
I don't even know where I was going with what I was saying, but
There's no point to it at all.
It happened. We're now in season 2. Fast forward.
Season 2, yeah.
And I thank you for being. I happen to know a mommy blogger, and her son is a giant fan of firefighters, and I'm so happy she's here. So writer in the house. And go ahead, you say whatever you want.
Well, I wanted to be a part of the show from the first episode as well, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So I had to wait patiently in the wings until it was possible. And yeah, literally, Code Black was canceled on a Friday, and I think I met with Stacy on a Monday, and I was pretty much done Monday night.
We were ready to pounce.
I was ready to pounce. No, absolutely. First of all, Shondaland is a universe that I wanted to be a part of ever since she appeared on the horizon. And for some reason, it never worked out. So that was a huge draw for me as well. And then meeting Stacy and Betsy just did the trick. I love writers, and I love great writers. And to sort of put myself in the hands of someone like Stacy is an absolute pleasure and honor, really, because you know that every single episode, and I had that experience once before, but this really tops it, where you don't think it can get any better, and then you open a script, and then the script is better than the script that you read before, and that's always an amazing surprise, and it's so much fun to go to work because not only do you get to speak these words, but also work with people like Jaina and people who have been so embracing of me, and just this is such a great atmosphere here, and that speaks to what you bring to this universe, because it starts at the top, and then it sort of it trickles down all the way to everybody else, and I've been part of sets where it wasn't the case, where there was a lot of negativity and people just not happy to be there, and this is just a pleasure to be a part of every single day.
Aw, that's so good. Oh, questions? Yes.
So Stacy, now congratulations on season 2.
Thank you.
Are there certain elements or storylines that you're really excited to explore this season?
Yes, all of them, so many of them. The thing that we get to do with season 2 that is so exciting for me, that we didn't really have a huge chance to do with season 1, because it was only, a handful of episodes. It was like 10 episodes with 9 plus the pilot. So you're really just establishing the world and sort of just starting to dip into who these characters are. This season, we've earned the right to really explore who these characters are. We get to learn about their pasts. We get to see their interactions with one another, the relationships that have formed prior to the show starting and then after. To me, it's, now we get to really dig deeper. I feel like we just barely scratched the surface in season 1, and now we get to get into the really good, juicy character stuff, it's my wheelhouse. It's the stuff I love. So, that's the stuff I'm most excited about, really. Plus, we have Boris here as Captain Sullivan this season, and I don't know if you noticed, but he's shaking things up around the fire station a little bit. So, so that's pretty fun too, to have that dynamic, to have a person that everyone in the station can sort of, push up against, and have him push right back and not be intimidated.
Push up against.
This way. Listen, lady.
One question. The show is great. I love it. I watched it the very first one. I love how I was watching Grace in the night. So Andy and that's very interesting, and I really like it. But I wanna know more about the sets, and it looks so real. All those scenes inside the buildings and the fire and all that. So can you tell us a little bit more about how that comes, how much is real, how much you need to work?
Sure. Well, our main standing set is a fire station set, which is so cool, and I think you guys are gonna go see it a little later. It's amazing. The interior of it is all on our stages. The exterior is all shot on location in Seattle. So when you see those exterior scenes, we went to Seattle, we shot all of those actually there on location. As for the incidents with the fires and stuff, it's sort of a combination. We have both practical fire that we do a lot of it on our burn stage. We have a stage that we sort of dedicate to burning things up. But we also then supplement and add a lot of CG fire as well. So it's both a combination of computer generated really crazy fire and then some practical stuff that we can use that's still safe for everybody to be around. So it's been a real learning process. I mean, I'm used to working on a hospital show where all we have to do is pretend we're doing surgery on like a piece of meat or something. And the scope of this is so different that it's been a real learning curve for everybody. Just even the physicality that you guys have to go through, just even wearing the turnouts. You know, some of the sweat and the exhaustion that you see on these guys' faces, oh, it's fully real.
Yeah, if anyone is interested in trying on the full turnouts, I could,
40 pounds of gear.
Super
Helmet.
heavy.
That was one of my questions. Is we have a family of first responders, and my husband and son were like, do they actually wear the weight of the firefighters, like a real firefighter's, uniform? Is that?
Yeah, we do.
They do.
It's the real
They
stuff.
do.
And did you train
Even the
with?
tanks, even the oxygen tanks on the back, we have fake ones and we have real ones.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. And it's really impressive that you actually took the test. Did you have to do it? Do you do any training with real firefighters to prepare?
Okay, look.
Oh, gosh.
Why are you laughing?
it's just gonna be funny, whatever it is.
Look, some people don't have to take the test. No, look, I volunteer. I want to take the test at some point. I haven't been able to take the test for scheduling reasons. I'm looking forward to dragging some hoses through the mud or whatever we need to do. Yeah, no, I see, absolutely. We have Brian, who's an ex-retired captain, who is here every day, and he's sort of my go-to guy because I play, his position basically. And he's been very helpful in sort of enlightening me and telling me what needs to be done when and how. But I'm a stickler for details. So at some point, I'm going to do one of those boot camps. And what do you And we did it. My last show, I did it too. I shadowed surgeons at Los Angeles County. So I want to do the same thing here, definitely.
You guys did do a bit of a boot camp, though.
We
The
did
actors,
like a
at
2-day
the
boot
beginning
camp
of each
with-
season, to get used to putting the turnouts on and off and going quickly, so that everything feels fairly natural when you watch it. Yeah.
You've already shown how some of the things like the blue fire or the skyscraper can stick with a firefighter. Did you talk to real firefighters and see kind of how that affects their lives?
Yeah, in fact, all of almost every story that we tell is inspired by something that we've heard from or read about from a first responder. We have a lot of firefighter consultants and paramedic consultants, both in the Los Angeles area and in Seattle, because some of the specifics are regional. And so we wanted to make sure we could be as authentic as possible. And again, because I always tell story from a character's point of view first, I always, when we're talking to people, I always ask the tough questions. I'm like, what was your toughest call? What's the one you've never been able to forget? What's your most inspiring call? What's the one that you can't forget for an amazing reason? So yes, all of these things are inspired by, stories that we've been told, and scenarios that we've been told. And it's really fascinating. Like, we really want to try and honor the people that we're representing. It's important to us. So we try to tap into some of the things that, maybe as a layperson, like, I don't have first responders in my family, so I might think, oh, the thing you remember the most is the biggest fire. And it's usually not the case. It's usually like the smallest fire that had the biggest effect because of the family that it was affecting or something. And so to me, those pieces of story are more authentic, and that's our wheelhouse. That's what I want to tell.
I have a question for Boris. Now, as a new kid, you said it's gone pretty smooth so far, but have you had any difficulties either in developing your character or, dealing with the costumes, some of the different kinds of stunts that you're doing?
As one of my my co-stars has been a little difficult. Yeah, I've been getting help in trying to understand her and know how to deal with her, just the row seats and stuff. But other than that, it's been
Yeah,
alright.
it's just ego. It's the ego on her.
It's the ego thing,
Yeah.
yeah. Being the first cast on the show.
Passing the
The
test.
first
my
child
God,
is
tell me
always
that.
passing the test.
Yeah, passing the test.
The difference is she took the test. You gotta make
Women always feel like
Why
they
you
have to
gotta
prove
stab me
themselves,
in the
right? They
back?
have to prove their strength and, yeah, exactly. Thank you. What she said.
I'll take the test, okay?
That's how your question is answered.
I'll
That's
take
how
the
he's
test.
dealing with it.
No, you know what? Honestly, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, it's been amazing, and it's all, you know, due to these two ladies and everybody else, because, you know, they set the tone, and it just trickles down. It's contagious, and everybody's just upbeat and positive, and we understand what we're doing here. We're not brain surgeons, you know, but so you have to put all this in perspective. You know, we're very lucky, we're very blessed to be in this position to tell these stories and to go play make-believe every day, you know. So I never forget that. So every time I step on the stage, I feel, you know, blessed, and I cherish every moment, and despite her.
Something to remind you though. So, you
Remind
know,
me, I gotta remind you, always moaning, complaining all day.
Oh, my Lord.
I think she wants
Yes,
Hey, Boris.
yes, hi,
Tammy, you're talking to me.
hi Tammy.
Hi. Have you talked to the writers about possibly seeing, because I know you grew up in Germany and you
Yeah.
speak fluent German, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, nothing's hotter than a guy that can speak another language. Do something like that?
We've already got
da
Spanish
musst du,
down.
ja, da musst du mit der Chefin reden, die macht das dann für mich.
Oh, God.
Well, she started, you know, we started with a little Spanish,
Yeah.
you know, we did that.
How many
and
languages do you know? 6, 7?
4, so, easy.
So he didn't have to take the test, but he knows.
No, but you know what, it's a good question, because in general, I think it's important to tap into an actor's toolbox, you know, to try to bring some of these things to life that are real and authentic, because it helps the character. And it helps us as actors, because we can associate with so many things, you know, much better when there's a real experience behind it. And, you know, we talk for hours and hours, and languages is definitely one of the things that he's probably pretty good at. And maybe we'll find some other things that are personal, that can be,
Yeah, for sure we will. I mean, that is important to me, is to find the pieces of each actor that are unique that we can showcase and then sometimes embarrass them with. So, you know, whatever works.
What's it like doing the crossover events with Grey's Anatomy, or episodes?
It is great, and it is really hard.
Yeah.
Just hard because of logistics. You know, there's so many different schedules, and, you know, they're shooting 2 episodes at once, and we're shooting 2 episodes at once, and so it just, you know, the logistics involved can be a real puzzle. But the great thing is, you know, I mean, I know everybody over there, so it's helpful to have that shorthand for sure, and then the end result is so great, so it's worth it, for sure.
We have time for 2 more questions, so we'll do Deborah and then Latoya.
I know that I personally had a small home fire. We had a microwave fire late last year, early this year. And so I was wondering if being in this environment and dealing with fires and learning so much probably, has that impacted your life any? Have you learned anything that you've kind of taken and dealt with your own households?
I've gotten a bunch of calls from, like, the mommies in the neighborhood.
Of course the moms are gonna call you.
Even when the house got a little too hot, like when the heat. Can you cool my house down? It's still hot.
I think I'm about to faint. Yeah,
I
there you go.
almost get carried away. Like if I see an incident outside in my house, I feel like I'm a real like I want to save and rescue.
Step aside!
I'm trying to remind myself, like, no, that's my mom too. She's like, chill. You play a firefighter. You're not really a firefighter.
Like, they're going on the roof, they're gonna vent,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last question.
So my question is, I know you're acting, right? But you use real stories. Does it ever get emotional when you're acting this out and you come to the end of the scene? Like, do you ever get choked up? Is it like a real moment for you, and how do you handle that?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we as writers as well as actors, you try to heighten the stakes as much as you can. And absolutely, because, you know, we've been in situations that are similar, and we've been in situations that we can associate with that apply to that moment, and absolutely. I mean, that's the goal. You know, you want to feel it. You want to be authentic in that moment, and sometimes you have to, you know, transport yourself back to when that happened. And it's a challenge that not not every actor embraces, because it can be tough and painful and all of that, because all that stuff comes back up. But I definitely look for it,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, you have to have empathy, I think, because at some point in time, someone has gone through that same circumstance, that same situation, and to kind of relive that experience, it's terrifying, but also invigorating in a way. That's my weird actor, like I enjoy that because, you know, our normal lives are just normal, but when we have to play these characters and tell these stories, they're exciting, and we get to, you know, transfer that to.
You saying
you at
life
home.
is boring, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's just, it's not
It's not
as
always
crazy and
so
exciting
heightened.
as how she writes the stories. I could make my life exciting, but she kind of has twists and turns, and it gets dark and it gets little wild.
A little wild.
Maybe I
Little
need to live
funny.
a little. Maybe I need to. Yeah.
But all of that translates onto screen,
Yeah.
I think, you know?
Yeah.
We have such an incredibly talented cast. I mean, I just feel like, you know, I fell into a big old pot of honey because they're just, it's like lightning in a bottle. You know, it's just this really transformative group of people who take these words and elevate them every single episode. And it shows. I think it shows on screen, just the sparkle there. It's pretty incredible for me. For me to watch dailies, I love it.
What do you guys like? What do you guys like?
I
and what
want
do
the
you guys-
juicy bits that are coming up.
Really?
She speaks Spanish and doesn't think that you can understand. That was
Yeah.
hilarious. That was so much fun to watch you mutter under your breath.